Hello guys and welcome back to episode 34 of our Sheffield United career mode here on EAFC 24. Today we are returning with the season finale as we close out season 4 with the Europa League final against Real Sociedad, followed by the FA Cup final against Liverpool. So it's Real Sociedad away in Stuttgart for the Europa League final. Our squad is completely gassed. We're at our bare bones at the moment with the amount of injuries that we've had, and we've got Liverpool to come in the FA Cup final in just 3 days' time. If we can somehow pull off a double here, I'll be absolutely amazed. Come on, you Blades. So there is the Real Sociedad team, really solid starting 11, and it's no wonder they've made it as far as they have in this competition. But we're out for the trophy today. I'm honestly not too sure whether I'd consider us or Sociedad favourites. I think with the fact we've got this other cup final in 3 days' time, it may be playing on our mind. I'd probably have Sociedad just as favourites with the squad and the quality that they've got. As Archer finds Jebison, who's really struggling with fatigue. Jebison, what a start! Daniel gives us the lead inside 10 minutes in Stuttgart. And he's been struggling with fatigue over the last week or so. We've told him that he's got no option but to start out there tonight. And he gets past Jonathan Tah and fires it across Ramiro to give us the lead. Daniel Jebison 1-0 to the Blades. Matthews, Kirkes, first time cross, dangerous ball. And cleared only as far as Sangare. Now Hayden. Through the gap to Jaden. Nice football this from the Blades to end the half. Archer's in the middle. What a header! Cam doubles up for the Blades right before the break. And that could be a huge goal as he runs over to celebrate with me. Lovely little passing move from Sheffield United. Harmer to Jaden. Swings the cross in first time. And it's a great header from Cam on the penalty spot, guides it into that far corner. And Sheffield United lead by 2 and are 45 minutes away from lifting the trophy. And that's a good ball over the top to Jose Gaia. Sociedad need a goal. And they're not going to find one here. Brilliant from Nicholson, and we've done such a good job against them defensively today. If we can find a third goal, that will seal it. Solanke off the bench. Gabriel. Dom. Back to Gabriel. Dispossessed. And thankfully he gets to his feet. Just 20 minutes to play here for us to hold on to lift this Europa League trophy. And we've been solid today. Just 10 minutes to play here. Sociedad need a goal from somewhere. Zakarian finds the Frenchman Kone. That's a good ball. Zakarian into the penalty area. We've nullified their threat so well in this second half as Sangare gets a foot in but gives the ball away. And Evan Nilsson, danger here. Shot comes in. Bazunu gathers at the second time of asking, and I think that might just be enough to see us to the final whistle into the 90th minute. Just 1 minute added on as Sociedad look for a consolation. Malik heads clear. It's up to Dom, and there is the whistle. And our first cup final of today's episode ends with the Blades lifting the trophy. First of the save. And it's a European trophy at that. Europa League in the bag. And as I say, that is the first of the save. Massive way to kick off today's episode. Yeah, buzzing, man. First trophy of the save. We lost in the Carabao Cup final. Was that last year against Manchester United? I think it must have been. And we've got our first our second domestic cup final to come. But Anel, the skipper, will lift the Europa League trophy for the Blades. And that is the first of the save, and hopefully of many more to come. So 1 down, 1 to go for the Blades, and Liverpool up next in the FA Cup final as we look to complete a European double. What a way that will be to end the season, and with our first trophy, winning our second just 3 days later. Liverpool will have had more rest. We are going to have to make changes with this coming so soon after our trip to Germany. And Lukas Sucic, as you see there, may be able to feature in some capacity in this final. So nothing else to go over, so just jumping straight into this. It's cup final number 2 of today's episode as we look to complete that European double. Liverpool at Wembley. Can we make it 2 wins from 2? So here is the Liverpool lineup for this FA Cup final. Very, very strong side. And obviously we faced them in the Europa League semi-final towards the end of last episode, where of course we managed to knock them out. So they're vying for revenge here. We are the home side, and I believe there is a stat, I can't remember exactly what it is, about the so-called home and away sides in the FA Cup final. I can't remember if it's better to be the home or the away team, but regardless, we're in our home strip. Liverpool in their changed third kit as well. That's a terrible tackle from Rafinha. And lucky it's only in the 4th minute to escape potentially an early red. Gakpo into Luis Diaz, back to Cody Gakpo. Could be trouble here. Gakpo sends it to Rico Lewis, who can come infield. Big trouble here. Rico Lewis denied by his former Manchester City teammate Zach Steffen. Well, I don't actually know if they were teammates, but they were both at City for sure. That's taken off Zach Steffen. Still it's alive, and Steffen claims. First little bit of pressure on either of the 2 goalkeepers, and Steffen stands up strong, starting in the cup final in what could be his final appearance for the club, and looking to make it a happy one. Hayden. Oh, look at the space for Leandro Paredes! Straight down the other end. Blades strike first. Been a quiet game up until this little passage of play, and Liverpool with some pressure on our goal, but they just left Leandro Paredes wide open. Poor from Alejandro, and he smashes past the Brazilian. Argentine beats Brazil, and Sheffield United lead. So Liverpool kicking off this second half, desperate to get back into things. And they might do so. What a save, Zach Steffen. And he's definitely been the busier of the 2 goalkeepers so far. But Alisson is the man who's had to pick the ball out the back of his net, and we're looking to make sure that happens for a second time here. Matthews, Hackney, Hayden! Oh, big save by Alisson. Bogle looking to get away. Beats Alejandro and has Jefferson ahead of him. Daniel Jefferson! Oh, what a hit, Daniel! 2-2 in the cup finals for the Sheffield United Academy grad. And we love this man around these parts. Daniel Jefferson, what a hit on the half volley. Jaden to Jefferson, 2 of the OGs, and he clips it in over Alisson on the half volley. Pick that one out, and the Blades are en route for 2 cup final victories in the space of 3 days. A couple of changes for us here. We are in a great position, but 25 minutes to go. If Liverpool do grab a goal, which we saw happen in that Europa League semi-final, scored a couple of late goals to get back into the tie, And that's exactly what they've done here as well. Cody Gakpo makes it 2-1. And Liverpool do not want to lose to us again. 3 minutes to play here. Liverpool looking to force extra time. Blades looking to win their second trophy in a matter of 3 days. Thiago, Diaz, Bogle's there. And that might be enough. Luca holds off his man brilliantly. And just keep hold of that ball, lads. Leandro, the experienced head, turns back. But we might get a farewell goal for Gus Harmer. Well saved by Alisson. And it won't be a final goal for Gustavo, but it will be the win. And there is a third, and it will be a farewell goal for Dominic Solanke, who, to be fair, has done brilliantly since coming in on loan on deadline day in January. Heads home the third, and Blades are going to lift the FA Cup. Two cup final victories in the space of 3 days for Sheffield United, with injuries depleting key players and fatigue taking its toll as well. What a week it has been for the Blades. Lost out in the Premier League to Manchester City, but we sat down, refocused on our targets, and we've ended the season with a European Cup double. The Europa League and the FA Cup secured, and the Blades are going to come back even stronger for that Premier League next year, and will also be competing with Europe's elite for the Champions League. Wow, man, one cup final is normally enough for any episode, but to have two and to win them both is some way to round off today's episode. I'm absolutely buzzing with both of those victories. Right, wow, okay, I sort of need a minute just to catch my breath and calm down after those two ridiculous cup finals, but we are going to go through a full season roundup. Obviously, here's another look at the Premier League table if you didn't catch it towards the end of last episode. FA Cup winners were obviously ourselves. You've just seen that massive victory in the final. And the Carabao Cup, well, I don't think we ever actually looked at who won it, and it was Spurs who defeated us in that penalty shootout back in, was it January or February that's played? I think it's January. And Spurs went on to lift the trophy, beating Chelsea in the final. As for the European competitions, the Conference League was won by VfL Wolfsburg, beating Manchester United in the final. As we know, the Europa League was of course won by ourselves, Sheffield United, beating Real Sociedad, the Spaniards, in the final. And the Champions League this year was won by Manchester City once again. I'd need to go back and look at the previous seasons, but I'm sure they just win it every single year, man. They're so good. Topping the group, 6 wins from 6 with Bayern Munich, Ajax and Slavia Prague. They then went on to beat Leverkusen 5-2 in the last 16. Quarterfinals, they defeated Arsenal 3-1, and then they faced Real Madrid and beat them 3-2 on aggregate before winning on penalties after a 3-3 draw with Juventus in the final. They're so hard to stop in career mode. Can we beat them next year to our first Premier League title? Well, I guess only time will tell. As for the individual player stats, it was Højlund beating Haaland by 10 goals to win the Golden Boot, although Manchester United finished outside of the top 4 this season. Interesting going into next year, and me potentially thinking that a elite striker could take us to the next level. Calvert-Lewin was our top scorer with 14 goals in 25, and again for the second season in a row, if he'd avoided that injury and played every single game, maybe he would have been higher. Cameron Archer, our only other representative in the top 25, with also 14 goals this season. As for the top assisters this year, it was Alejandro Balde from left back winning the assist trophy with 17. That is incredible. Luka Sucic had 13 and maybe would have been closer without that big injury. And Hayden Hackney was very productive this year with 9 assists in 30. Matthews, João Pedro also in the top 25, and it was Gavin Bazunu winning the Golden Glove, pipping Alisson by 2. Played every single game in the league this year, Bazunu, and was very, very solid. So right, let's run through the squad. Zach Steffen, decent backup keeper this year, 6 clean sheets in 12, but only really played in the cup. He was pretty pivotal in our FA Cup victory with 4 clean sheets in 6, but of course it was Gavin Bazunu who was the main man. Dropped a couple of clangers at times, but as a whole was very, very good for us this season. 21 clean sheets in 50 appearances in all competitions, and he grew 5 ratings as well this year, up to 84. Aliou, of course, had the potential to be special tag, but by the looks of it, played the first 5 games for the Saints and then didn't feature again. So he only grew by 4 ratings and we didn't see a lot of growth from him. He is due to come back to us next summer, but I think I'm going to loan him out again. Isaac Rodgers, I'm going to add to the transfer list as he's just probably never going to make it. He's got decent potential, but never going to get there. Ola, now at the age of 30, only a year left on his contract. Really, really solid for us. Played 26 times in all competitions. And of course, dual-sided fullback. I love Ola, but I think there is a chance he may leave next year with just 12 months left on his contract, and he's obviously not going to get any better. Milos Kerkez was brilliant coming in at left back this season, grew by 4 ratings. No goals and only the 1 assist for him, but 16 clean sheets, and he was ever present in our team, was really, really solid down that left-hand side. David Alaba, obviously out injured, 34 years of age now, so decreased by 2 as we know, but he did submit that transfer request really early on into the season. I really liked using Alaba this year, but he probably will get sold next year into the final year of his contract. And as he submitted that transfer request, I don't see him staying. We're not going to hold him to ransom. Harry Maguire didn't feature a lot this year, just the 12 appearances, although he did pop up with a couple of goals. 34 years of age now, and his contract up next season. I'm hoping he is going to retire next season, the same as Kyle Walker. Anel, absolutely solid season for him. Popped up with, I think, all 3 of those goals in the last episode. Grew another rating to 85. And the captain was just absolutely solid this year. 20 clean sheets in 46 appearances. Jared was decent as a backup left-sided defender. Look at those average ratings in every competition. Really, really solid from him. Only 24 years of age. And he does have some holds on his attributes now. But yeah, really solid squad option. Malik obviously picked up quite a big injury, so missed a decent amount of the season. Did grow up to 83 overall, but his development is pretty slow at the moment. Andrew, contract expiring in 12 months. I like him as a squad player. Not too sure if he's going to be here next season, though. We'll have to take a rain check next season. Ian Walker up for on loan at Norwich. We love to see our little affiliation with Norwich. Georgios, who's one of my favourite of the young players out on loan, only grew by 3, so not major growth. He'll be back next summer, and again he will be loaned out. And Stefanos Samaras, you may remember this guy, the 5-star centre-back. Brilliant pace and brilliant physical stats. It converted him to a centre-back, and he grew 11 ratings out on loan this season. He's got another year out at Südtirol. I'm not too sure where that is, but we'll keep an eye on him next season. Kyle Walker, as I mentioned, same as Harry Maguire. I'm hoping he retires next season. Should do now at the age of 37 and only 1 year left on his deal, but just keeping him really as a squad option. And a mentor to this man, Patrick Nicholson. Really productive first season in the first team squad for Patrick. 1 goal, 4 assists, and very, very solid whenever he plays. I think he's my long-term replacement for Ola as that dual-sided fullback. Jayden Bogle is an interesting one, another player with his contract up next summer, and with him not really growing anymore, a couple of big injuries. He is the one sort of weak spot in our team. Pretty decent season from him, 1 goal, 4 assists, 17 clean sheets, but it is the one area on the pitch we need to upgrade. Do we keep Jayden for another year as a backup, or do we look to sell and reinvest that money? Sangare was a brilliant pickup from Nottingham Forest. I think it was, 32 million we paid for him at the start of the year. He is 29 years of age now, but still grew a rating this season. 5 assists from him from CDM, 17 clean sheets this season. And yeah, very, very solid, and an upgrade on Vinicius Souza, who's still a very decent squad option in that CDM role. I imagine Vinny will probably be staying next season to compete with Sangare. Darko, I'm probably going to loan out next year. Didn't feature a huge amount this year. 11 appearances, with the majority of them coming in the Europa League group stage. But as I say, with Sangare and Souza and Paredes who can play them, I'm going to try and loan him out and see if we can get some good growth on him. Tom Powell, another of the youth players who had some good development this year, up 4 ratings out on his loan. Leandro, as I just mentioned, can play in that CDM role, and I'll probably give him a new contract at the beginning of next season. I really, really like Leandro. Can play in either of the central midfield or CDM positions and always performs well, even at the age of 32. Gustavo, I'm not sure what to do with him. Didn't quite have as productive a season as we've seen previously from him. Just the 3 goals and 2 assists from midfield. Now 29 years of age and due to turn 30 over the summer. A year left on his contract, although he is one of the OGs. Hayden Hackney had the best season of his career this year. 6 goals in all competitions and 14 assists. Featured in 46 games, one of the most throughout the club this year, and he's only got a year left on his deal, and at just 15 grand a week wage, I definitely need to tie him down to a new long-term contract. Gabriel was very good this season as well. 27 years of age now, 2 years left on his deal, but just very, very solid across the board. Only the 3 goals and 2 assists, but I always know that he's going to perform well when he's in the team. Seamus Allen, good season of growth for him, up 4 to 77 overall. Just the 1 goal and 5 assists for him, but yeah, very solid season from Seamus, and he'll definitely be staying as a squad midfielder next year. Carlos definitely picked up after Luca went down injured. I struggled with him in the first half of the season, but 5 goals and 11 assists for a backup attacking midfielder is very decent, and he did grow by 2 ratings this year. Luka Sucic, the main man in that attacking midfield role. 8 goals and 18 assists. Still a decent return considering he had that long injury, and he's still only 24 years of age, so still more to come from Luka. He did jump up to 87 overall, but then when he got injured, dropped back down to 86. And again, there's no way I'm selling this man next year. He is incredible. Only 2 years left on his deal. On 35 grand a week, he probably deserves a new contract as well. Harry Matthews, very good season for him. 7 goals and 10 assists in 30 games. Very, very good return, up to 81 overall now, and he's definitely going to be staying to compete with Carlos for that backup attacking midfield role. Calvert-Lewin, who I believe was our top scorer in the end with 22 goals and 2 assists. I love DCL, he was class, but after picking up that 3-month injury, I don't know whether we might look to not necessarily replace him, but just upgrade him next season to a bigger and better striker. He's still growing, went up to 82 overall. And as I say, he was our top scorer, but I do feel like that is an area we could potentially improve. Dominic Solanke won't be the man to replace Calvert-Lewin, but did have a good loan spell here. 3 goals and 2 assists, and of course picked up that goal in the FA Cup final to seal the win. João Pedro, first season for him, 20 goal involvements, 13 goals and 7 assists. Started the season off like a house on fire, and then went through a spell where I struggled with him. And this man, Cameron Archer, came sort of back into the forefront. 18 goals and 8 assists from him. So you can see a more productive season, although he did play a few more games. So every year when I think Cameron's going to get replaced, he always ends up playing well and performing. So 2 years left on his deal. He's not going to be going anywhere. Cam will be staying for next season. Daniel Jefferson, again, really good season for him. 10 goals and 3 assists in just 26 appearances for the academy grad. We love this man. Absolute GOAT. Daniel Jefferson always scores important goals. And yeah, he'll be staying next year as well to play a squad role. And Connor Manning, 4 goals in 9 appearances since returning from his loan in January. Only a year left on his deal, but he will definitely be getting a new contract and hopefully being loaned out next summer. Neil Conlon, Reece Matthews and Nilos Kaya were all out on loan last year, and we saw some decent growth. Reece Matthews is getting there, looking to link up with his brother Harry, although he's got another year out on loan. And Nilos Kaya, really like the look of this guy. The defender turned striker, still needs a little bit of work in some areas, but he's slowly but surely getting there. But guys, that will do it for today's episode. I need to go and take a break after those ridiculous 2 cup finals. But we will return in the next episode with the new season, Season 5, with our Blades on the back of our Europa League and FA Cup double in Season 4. Let me know any transfer targets down below. And as I say, I need to go and take a rest because that has taken it out of me. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next episode very soon. Peace.